This time on Low Boost, I'm going to show you how I fix some of the boost control issues I've been having on my E36 Turbo LS swap. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my BMW E36 Turbo LS swap. I've been working on this car for a couple of years now, always working out some kinks on it, but I have a full series on how I did the whole swap with the Turbo LS in it. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button because I have like 40 plus videos on this entire setup. But today I want to talk about my boost control issues. So if you're watching the video on this and you're wondering what the heck this is my DIY ice cooler air conditioner. It blows ice cold. I made a whole video about this on my YouTube channel, so if you're interested, check it out. This is an LQ4 6 liter that's a Gen 3 out of like a 2500 HD pickup truck. It has a Brian Tooley Stage 1 turbo cam, which I think is a part of my boost problem because the Stage 1 turbo cams tend to run out of steam over 6,000 RPM. Tucked down here under my headlight is a BorgWarner SXE 372 turbo. So it's a 7273 if you're looking at turbine sizes, if you're familiar with those numbers. It's a 300 series BorgWarner casing for the compressor side because I wanted an S475, but it wouldn't fit under the engine bay, and the only place to put it was underneath the headlight here. Because of that, the turbo size is a little bit too small, so I've had a lot of boost control issues, and I've been trying to figure out what it could be. I've had a lot of help with my Holley Terminator X actually fixing some of these issues. In terms of boost control, I'm using a 3-port MAC valve that is an AEM from an AEM True Boost, but now I have it wired into my Holley Terminator X that is adjusting boost by RPM. The Terminator X is actually pretty cool if you're doing an open loop boost control setup where I'm able to adjust my boost duty cycle by RPM. So I'm making the boost I want to make at like 3,500 RPM, but at 5,500 RPM it falls off. Couldn't figure out why. What kind of helped me with that was adjusting the duty cycle at 4,000, 4,500, 5,000 RPM to be higher as it goes. And I'll show you guys a graph of what I'm talking about to kind of help control boost there. I made an entire video showing how I set up that open loop boost control with duty cycle by RPM on my YouTube channel as well. Check out the video, it's in the playlist for E36 Turbo LS swap. But that was not fixing it still. My exhaust setup on this is coming out of the back of the turbo. It's a 3.5-inch outlet, and that goes out of the back of the car. And unfortunately, I couldn't find a good muffler that could quiet the car down that was 3.5 inches. So I ended up going with a 3-inch muffler. So that was the exhaust restriction. And it made a whistling sound as I tried to turn the boost up. And I really should have figured this out sooner. This episode is brought to you by Driveline. They're the BMW Driveline specialists. Whether you have a factory BMW that you need a new drive shaft made for, or you want that one upgraded, or you have a BMW you're going to be doing a swap in and you need a custom drive shaft made, make sure you guys check them out. They can make just about any drive shaft for any BMW application, you name it. They're designed to handle power, not just factory BMWs. They'll also do a custom drive shaft for any swap you're going to put into them, whether it's another BMW engine into a BMW, 2JZ engine, or my favorite, LS swaps. They can make a custom drive shaft for literally anything BMW. If you use the link in the description below, you'll get 10% off any drive shaft you get from them. So make sure you guys check them out for all of your driveline needs, especially at higher boost levels. When the exhaust gas is trying to escape, it's going to go the easiest route. And the choke point for me was all the way in the back of the car because I got that big old 6-point go and all that air forcing out of that turbo. And the choke point was the 3-inch muffler. So the only other place that the exhaust is going to get out as quickly as it can is out of my wastegate, no matter what the spring was. I even had a 14.5 PSI spring, and it wasn't even holding 12 PSI because the exhaust gas had nowhere to go and it was blowing right out my wastegate. My wastegate vents to the atmosphere, which makes that even easier to do. So I had one big fix for this. I had a cutout that I already had on the car that was cap closed. And the minute I opened the cap up, it made a huge difference. I don't know about wheel horsepower, but my 60 to 130 time improved by 0.3 of a second, 0.35 seconds. First hit after doing this. That's low. And that has to be a considerable amount of power that I gained or that I was losing by not having a proper exhaust setup on this car. I still think having a stage 1 turbo cam is a good idea for me because I like driving the car on the street. It idles really well. It's not really choppy. I think my injectors might play a little bit of a part in that too. But it's not a crazy race cam at all. But the downside is I can't really wind it out like some of the other cams out there. Like a sloppy stage 2 cam will pull all the way well over 7,000 RPM. This won't. Over 6,000 RPM, it really starts to die off. That plays a role in why I'm not making as much power up top as I should. But I just shipped earlier, so it's not that big of a deal, but I could be making more power if I had a bigger cam. Also, if I had a bigger turbo, I could easily be making more power too. But my goal with the car wasn't to make a ton of power. If I could make 700 wheel horsepower, call it a day, on this Gen 3 motor, it's perfect for me. It hooks, books, and goes with the power level that I have. If I had 800, 900 wheel, it'd be great, but this is a Gen 3 motor and it's just not gonna hold up to it. And I would like for it to last a little while. You know, I don't know how long it'll last if it makes 700 wheel, but with Gen 3's 800 to 850 wheel is where the rods say bye-bye. So we're not gonna do that. I would like to keep it at 700 wheel and just call it a day. I love driving this car. It's such a blast. Everything about the car is great. And if you guys are interested in learning more about this car, check out my YouTube channel that you're on right now, Low Boost Films. Like I said, I have over 40 videos on how I did this entire build from the day I bought it to now. So make sure you guys check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.